Hello everyone, my name is Garrett Okamber, and welcome to another video about ARK. I just want to discuss some of my concerns, and also what does this game have to offer over other survival games, especially since the genre of dinosaur games is just starting to become a thing, as the zombie genre has reached its all-time high. First of all, I should just note that when people say, oh, we're tired of the survival genre, you're only saying that because you haven't had a good survival game. The dream of a good survival game is always prevalent. You always, people like me who love survival games always are thinking, what's the next big game? And this game definitely looks that way. It looks like the next big survival game, and if it can deliver on everything it promises, oh my god, that's gonna raise the bar so friggin' high for every other survival game out there. So, to answer that, to retort to that, it's like, oh, I'm tired of zombie games, I'm tired of these open world games, why can't they go back to the way they used to be? You have not had enough time to look at the good of survival games, what good they did do. I'm not a fan of Rust, but I will say what it did do was it put a strong emphasis on grouping with your friends. That's all Rust did. I never played the game, I never wanted to play the game, I still think it's a terrible survival game in general, but it put an emphasis on teamwork. And this game has taken that to a whole new level. You can tame dinosaurs with your friends, you can build bases like every other survival game, but in this huge world that's trying to eat you, literally, this world is trying to devour you. There is no safety in this world. And that is a great thing that the survival game did. Okay, so another thing I want to talk about here, before I forget about it, is size dimensions. Just for creatures in general. There hasn't been a game that, at least a survival game, open world, that has actually successfully pulled off immense creature sizes. There isn't a single example that I can give to tell you this, that it really hasn't been done on the scale that this game is trying to do. You are dwarfed by pretty much everything in the game world. There isn't a single thing that, there isn't a single thing in this game that isn't big. Okay, you can say, oh, dodo birds are really small, but what I mean is they do it in a big way. There's a large amount of dodo birds. Giant triceratopses, there's giant T-Rexes, there's a dragon, and the size of the dragon is probably one of the coolest things I've seen, and scariest things I've seen. And I'm not, at all agitated about it. Like, I'm not saying, oh, that's a bad choice. No, that's a great choice. Make it as big as you can friggin' make it. And when I looked at the video, I didn't actually get a chance to look at the video. I looked at the video, but I didn't, when I was putting it up and I was getting into the game, I'm still taking it in. I'm still taking in what I've seen. And I'm still looking at these screenshots, taking in what I'm seeing. I'm noticing little tiny details. But the fact is, they're riding Tyrannosaur towards that dragon. I didn't know that at first. It took me a while to realize that. Literally, it took me several days to digest the fact that they were actually riding a Tyrannosaur. I thought they were riding, something else. I didn't know. It has happened so fast. It's like when you first see a movie for the first time, you don't actually take in every single tiny little thing, or every eye movement, or every little thing that's going on in the background, and you can appreciate it all the more. So I've been looking at the video over and over again, trying to see new stuff, and I've noticed those were in fact Tyrannosaurus, and you can see in the picture here, they're really small in comparison to Tyrannosaurus. It's a big friggin' dinosaur. That person in the foreground, the background, that's how big a person is compared to Tyrannosaurus. They can go in their mouth like a gulp. It's Jurassic Park size. So, if they're that big compared to the dinosaur, imagine the dragon. I think they'd be roughly the size of its eye. That's an immense creature. Now, on top of all this, these creatures are roaming around free in the game world. And that's just such a cool, remarkable thing in your game, to have this huge open world. Fantastic looking graphics. I have to keep completely gushing over the graphics. They are roaming around in this world, interacting with it. They're huge creatures. And You're so small. You can hide in like a bush or whatever. That's survival right there. You are the prey. You are not the biggest thing on the server. And I like that feeling. I like that people are going to feel very insignificant and they have to truly survive. This is going to cut down player killing. This is going to cut down clan wars. I know there'll still be that option, but for the online aspect of this game, people are going to be struggling to survive, and that's how you do a survival game. That's how you do it correct. On top of that you can see there's large mountains and caverns, and you getting around the world is a monumentous task. I mean, you can't just say, oh, we'll meet at this beach. You might meet at the beach. You'll probably get eaten before you get there. You'll probably fall down a pit and just die because it's that deep. Now, they've talked a bit about character customization and all of this, and first and third person arguments. It's going to be a first person game, but there's going to be a vanity orbit kind of camera thingy you can do to look at your character, and that's a great option. I like the fact that they're staying away from a third person locked perspective, because in a survival game you're not supposed to look around corners. You can't do that unless you actually peek your head out. So they're forcing you to live the character's experience, and you can still look at your, what you've created, what your character looks like. It looks like you can make really fat guys, really small. You can change the texture. You see a woman here with thicker hips, and then one with thinner hips. So you can do that, apparently. You can change how your bone and muscle structure looks, and that's really cool. I'm sure there's hairstyles and all that. And then you can also dye your gear. You can dye your equipment. You can get different types of gear to wear. And there's also going to be dinosaur armor. There's also going to be, apparently, dinosaur guns on the saddle of your dinosaur, which is kind of ridiculous. But hey, why not? No other game's really done that successfully, if not at all. Other than Turok, I can't remember any other game. They're doing such a good job with all these tiny little facets. I'm actually finding it very hard to believe that this game is ever going to come out. I'm finding it incredibly difficult to believe that June 2nd, that they're promising this game's early access. It's like something out of your best dream ever for a survival game with dinosaurs, and there haven't been too many. If you're probably seeing the picture now, you realize that is a big friggin' scorpion. Yeah, that's giant insects. They have definitely confirmed that in the past few days, and looking at what they're talking about, looking at the pictures of it, and then reading about it, giant insects is well, technically there's arachnids, but that's a pretty frightening concept that also hasn't been done very well in games in a very long time. And the fact that it's first person is also going to probably either frighten people to the core. Me as a person, I'm not scared of scorpions, I'm scared of spiders. So fighting a giant tarantula that's far bigger than me, they said there's two types. There's giant and then very giant. What does very giant mean? Giant's the size of, like, a horse. What's very giant? Like the size of an elephant, a tyrannosaurus? That's very frightening. I think it's a great choice to put that in the game, but at the same time, it's gonna really, really inspire fear in a lot of people. And also there's an unconscious kind of condition, status, ailment. There's poison. So these creatures, a lot of insects and arachnids can inflict those, obviously, because of toxins and things like that. So they're not just scary, they're very dangerous. And it'll be interesting to see how they play with all the other dinosaurs and creatures in the game. There's not just dinosaurs, though. They've talked about the saber-toothed tiger, the woolly mammoth. There's a few other mammals and a lot of aquatic creatures, which is awesome. I'm also mostly interested in the weather too. I mean, it looks amazing for all it is, all intents and purposes. For me, the biggest thing about survival game is weather. There has to be the right ambience, and when you add fantastic weather effects and lighting and rain, you get this really super eerie world. If you can make it feel alive, and then you can make the person feel afraid. You do that through weather and lighting, and if those aren't right, that ambience is missing slightly. And obviously, you know, sound and music plays a part in it, but I like a survival game that doesn't have any music. I want to feel like I'm that person, cold and damp, cowering behind a rock, hoping to God that Tyrannosaurus goes away. And I've never really played a dinosaur modern game ever, so like this is going to be a completely new experience for someone like me, and as a YouTuber trying to give you guys that footage, seeing my experience, having you live through it, the ambience is going to really dictate how I'm feeling and how my videos will make you feel, which is just fantastic. I love the fact that you can be so scared or so elated by something just by seeing it. Like, there's this beautiful shimmering effect on the water in this game that we're seeing, and it looks mouth-watering. It's just gorgeous, and I'm very excited for this. I don't know what else to say that other than I'm super excited for this game. And I originally didn't want to make another video like this, you know, just promoting the game in general, but why not promote it? It's amazing. I'm aware right now there are a lot of videos on YouTube, a lot of videos right now of this game, and putting my 2 cents in twice I think is fine. Yeah, you got 4 cents. I think it's fine because some games deserve to have some matter of free promotion or hype to them, and I don't like using the word hype a lot, but there's definite hype with this game. There's definite hype. Every little aspect of it looks so carefully constructed, and I'm just hoping it's everything it's looking like it is. If it doesn't at all meet the expectations of everyone who's crazed about it right now, including myself, it's going to be a very sad day. But from what we're seeing, it's like it looks like to me The Forest, Dying Light, and I want to say Jurassic Park had a baby. It's got that quality about it with the environment and the lighting and the creatures, and at the same time it looks like it's going to be incredibly fun to play. Like, everything's going to manage properly, you know, you're going to be able to move and attack and do all this stuff effortlessly. It's going to be a good game, you know, in the most basic terms. It's going to play well. That's what I'm seeing so far, but there could be some catastrophic problem with it. Who knows? I mean, it's early access for a reason. They had enough faith to keep the project hidden for a long time. That's something a lot of companies have started to do. They've started to hide their work until they feel confident, which is a good thing. It's kind of sad because some people just never know these games exist, and this game didn't even boast. They just came out of nowhere, and it's like, holy shit, where did this thing come from? But at the same time, the fact that it's remained hidden for so long, and they're just saying, hey everyone, this is everything that's going to be in the game, blah 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 blah, and they're showing you it in actual depth. I think that really shows they do love this project. The developers love what they've done, and you can ride freaking scorpions. I mean, that's just awesome and scary at the same time. You don't want to tango with someone riding a scorpion. That would not be a good day for you. So yeah, it's like a hunter's dream. It's like everything Far Cry could have been if it was, you know, prehistoric and all that stuff. And there's alien technology. There's just a wide variety of genres thrown into one, and you can build, you can explore, you can do so much in this game, and I think that's so awesome. There's also multiple types of flying creatures, by the way. There's also giant bats, which you'll be seeing in another picture here in a moment. But it's really cool. There's just so much you can do, and so much you can collect and tame and maintain. I can see people making mods, and there will be mod support, making mods for this game, like their own Jurassic Park or whatever, or Survival Stadium or something like that. That'll be really cool to see, especially also if you can create your own creatures, to see how you can make new things. Like, I would love to make a shark that breathes fire. Why not? It would be stupid as hell, but it would be awesome. It jumps out of the water and just breathes all over your boat, or kills your dinosaur. It's just scary stuff. You could do almost anything, and that's really cool to be able to say that about a game, a survival game, just saying that you can almost do anything. You just have to put your mind to it, and my computer is doing this thing here where it wants to go in safe mode, and I don't like that. Stop it. There we go. Okay, good computer. Yeah. So, what are my expectations for this game? At the very least, at the very minimum, I expect it to keep its promise of an open world. Now, what I often will disagree with game developers about what an open world means. Some people have said open world means you can go anywhere. Well, when you lock me off to an area on purpose, or you put blocking terrain, blockers, that's not open world. Now, if I can't physically climb a tree, obviously I can't physically climb a tree. That's not a blocker. That's a tree. But when you put trees, debris, cars, wreckage, rocks in such a manner to look like rubble, but then prevent the player from ever getting past those, that's a blocking terrain. That means it's not open world. This game has a huge jungle environment from what I've seen. There's also going to be snowy areas, mountains, an underground cavern, deep seas, deep lakes, rivers, all manner of places, which is awesome. It's just like a survivalist's wet dream. Now, they were saying it's open world, and I want to believe that I can go all those places without a single loading screen. I want to believe that I can traverse the world in such a manner that if I see a mountain, I can go to that mountain and I can climb it. I want to believe that I can keep going down in the ocean till my character cannot physically breathe that far, or there is some sort of scuba gear that lets me go even further until they get crushed by the depths. I want to believe that. There's a lot of games that have implemented infinite world space in the past, and they've done so well. Even Minecraft has done it so well. And there are inhibiting, features to these. Obviously, you can't swim through lava. That's not going to happen. You can't go out of the solar system, I'm sure. You can't leave this planet's atmosphere. I'm sure that's a fact. There will be other worlds, by the way, later on in this game, but right now we're just focusing on Ark. So, yeah, I understand that. So when they say open world, I'm assuming it's a giant island, and you can go anywhere. Any of the other games that come out, Rust, Daisy, you can go anywhere. That's what I'm expecting from this game. So I'm hoping to see that. I'm hoping to be able to do that and explore this game in its entirety without them throwing some big effing, sorry, you can't do that, it's not an open world game, because that would be irritating. That would just basically be tiny little loaded cells with creatures and entities in them, and cell is the term for a world space, a small world space, miniature world space. So it's like a box with turtles and tyrannosaur and dragons in it. That would really suck. So at the very minimum, yeah. Was my biggest expectation of this game, that it's going to be everything that I'm hoping it's going to be, that everyone's seeing and everyone's talking about, that it's going to be the survival game probably to end this era of survival games. We are going to see a very different kind of market after this, if this is successful. There's glowing freaking mushrooms. I mean, that's awesome. It's been done, but it's so cool looking in this. I want to be able to experience this game in the manner that it's showing itself off. I really want it to be everything it's saying it's going to be. So, I mean, I'm not too concerned right now. There's been no reason to be that concerned, but you have to think about it. Is this game going to be worth the price that they're asking for? And they are saying it's going to be between $20 and $25 on early access, which is a fantastic price for what we're seeing here, if in fact it is that. So you can make up your mind, check all the videos you want, but in the end you have to ask yourself, do I believe in what this game is saying? Do I believe in what the developers want for this game world? Do I want to be able to customize my character, dye my clothing, get in a Jeep, drive out, get hit by a Triceratops, sprain my character's leg, bandage it up with nearby materials, and then fear for my life as a roving band of giant ants being chased by a spider crawl on by? Do I want this kind of game? Do we want to do I want this game to succeed too? Because early access is everything. If it doesn't do well in early access, what was the friggin' point? So you have to question, is this the game for you? Is this the game for you? If you like survival, if you like dinosaurs, if you like feeling small and hunted, this looks like it will be the game for you. So I am so excited for it. I'm just... I've been sitting here counting the days. Literally, I've been counting the days. I did apply for the early alpha, which, hopefully, if my card is lucky, I will get drawn, and I will be playing this game and probably showing you guys some more footage, actual footage of me in the game world going, oh my god, that bush is scary and frightening, but I don't know yet if that's going to happen. In any case, this will definitely be a long series. I'm excited for this game, and I'm hoping you are too. Sorry if I've just bantered on here for 20-some minutes, but the hype is real. So, thank you for watching. If you'd like to hear me talk about this game again, let me know in the comments below. If not, I completely understand. I don't normally do multiple types of these videos, but I wanted to say something else about it. I wanted to express some concerns and talk about some neat little features. So check out their Steam page. They have a lot of information on new creatures and features of the game. The admins, the developers, are really good about answering your questions. They have a lot of pre-asked questions. They've answered them, controller support, things like that. Can you turn off the motion blur? Of course you can. So check all that stuff out in the links below. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you all in the next episode. Bye-bye.